I'm Chantal Roses. I'm from far north Queensland, the rainforest area. My mob are Yidinji and Mbabram people, and yeah, I'm a Queenslander. Yidinji side is far more bigger than Mbabram side, but quite large families. My grandma's had 12 children, and then I'm a descendant of her, and I've got 2 siblings, and I'm the eldest of those 2. My brother's an electrician, and my sister's a bank teller. It was a challenge at the start, but it was something that I needed to do for myself. Getting out of the familiar and into something new to challenge who I was and to really see who I was. Because when you're stuck in one spot, you don't really realise the things that you can do. And the things that you can face, and challenge yourself and stuff. I feel that Indigenous children become disadvantaged in the mainstream education system. So one thing was I really wanted to become a teacher so that then I could help them and get the experiences of education so that then I could educate my children as well, because they're young little Indigenous children as well. And the priority is that I really wanted to help the Indigenous children. I'm studying early childhood, and a Bachelor of Arts. I've chosen early childhood because, it was something influenced by my auntie, but after studying the language of uni, I really want to take forward and move into primary schools. Yeah. We learn like birth to 4 literacy and numeracy, expressive arts. We're studying teaching Indigenous children, teaching Indigenous Australian context. I don't know, I feel that in the early childhood setting, we haven't really been exposed to the Indigenous culture that much. It's through my Bachelor of Arts that I find that I can use those topics and entwine them together. In my Bachelor of Arts, it's Australian Studies through Flinders, but I choose all my Indigenous topics because there is no Indigenous topics under the Bachelor of Arts. So you've got to go through the Australian Studies. There's heaps of things that I didn't even know about my culture until coming here to study it and realising it. Because, you know, when you're around like how I was saying, when you're around the familiar, you don't realise that there is a way to change it, and there's a way to access those knowledges through the right channels, not through stereotyped or hearing what you hear through gossip or through, you know, your normal channels. I'm only 2nd year at the moment. So next year I'll be 3rd year. And I found 2nd year was the hardest one, because it's either make or break the 2nd year. You either can make it, or you either say, this is not what I want to do. But I find that each day I carry on, I know that at the end is the degree that I'm going to be using to help my Indigenous mob. The challenges that I found is that I'll start like in the easy ones. Sure. That the readings I found are very, very hard sometimes, especially when you don't know the university language. Your essay writing becomes a challenge in a way if you don't know how to write essays. But then again, with having the help of like Yungarendi and the people that support you through Yungarendi had made it like so much more easier. They give me the confidence, and it's almost like when you go down to Yungarendi, you see family, and I love that, Definitely, when I walk into my placement setting through my early childhood classrooms, I find a sadness because I walk in there and there's no Indigenous kids in my setting, and that's quite hard sometimes. Yeah, that's one of the hardest things, is that you walk in there and you don't see any of your Indigenous children, and you start to question yourself, am I going to make the change? Yeah. Am I the one that's going to be the one to bring in the Indigenous community to see what they can access and to say this is here for you to use? Yeah, that's one of my challenges. I'd say finance. That is a big thing. Sometimes, like, you come in and you sort of fuel expenses and, having 2 kids and raising them, you find that you're trying to, do the good with everything, but yeah, it sometimes becomes hard, like keeping up with your finance side of things. But other than that, the challenges are things that become accomplishment. I have to say at Flinders, it's having Yungarendi and the support. Like I said, I don't think I'd be here if I didn't have the family of Yungarendi. And I stress that they're family because it's the communication we have, it's the support that we have, it's the friendly faces that you get, it's the the hands-on help. Yeah, and I think that's a major benefit for me, especially coming from Queensland and not having much family down in South Australia. But that's one of the biggest things I find is a benefit for me. Also, scholarships that you can access, that's a benefit for me. The confidence that going to university has given me, that when I do walk into a classroom and it's in a topic, like in one of our studies, and I'm the only Indigenous person, I can now talk about entwine Indigenous studies in my other mainstream topics. So yeah, when they ask how would you help children to be diverse and complex, I always mention my culture and how I can use those things that I know into that. I tell you, they stop and they look and they go, I never thought of that, but it is a really good feeling that you get when they do listen, and it's either up to them what they do with that knowledge and their responsibility of knowing that what I've just told them. I didn't think I could do it. I really didn't think I could do it at the start because I left school at year 9, and I think I don't know if many other mob feel the same way as me, but I felt like I'm sort of a bit nervous getting those, things done. But then once I got it done and handed it in and you get these great results back, you sort of feel a bit of pride about yourself and motivation, and it gives you a great look on like what uni can do and what you can do. It's all about what you can do too. Possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities I want to do with my degree, especially having the combined degree and 2 degrees coming out. My first thing, I want to go to the Aboriginal communities here, locally, or even up in Northern Territory before I go, because you need to see what's in your backyard before you can go branching out to other places and stuff. And I think it's an important thing to get your knowledges up and to experience what else is out there in your own backyard before you take it back home to make connections back there. Hopefully, like, not in the very near future, but near. I hope to be maybe a director of an early childhood setting and indigenising strategies across the early childhood framework. I would love to go and see the disadvantaged areas overseas. So, Nepal's a great one. You've got Vietnam, places like that where education is vital that they get. But I do believe, like, with Indigenous kids being disadvantaged, I need to go and help them first before I can help other children. I really would. I'd say, anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And, have that confidence, because we're proud blackfellas. We are proud of who we are. And once you believe in that, you can believe in anything that you do and set your mind to. And I just think with the support of Yungarendi, you'll find it so much easier to just access uni life. Our children, the next generation. If they go into mainstream schooling and they don't see any of our faces, I think that's a hard thing. You know, I think that's a real hard thing to walk in there and get taught something when no one knows what they're feeling or what they're going through. And if they have someone familiar that they can relate to and the issues that they can relate to, then I think we'll reach more children and we'll get them educated. I'd just like to thank people of Yungarendi for giving me such great support and for giving me opportunities, whether they're my own opportunities or it's just the help that I get from them and the feeling of knowing them. That's a great thing. And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. Come in and have a try, because it's all about trying. Yeah.